lovely lot. So, right then, I'm going to do you guys some mid-monthlies. I wasn't planning on doing it. I was just going to go straight into the end of monthlies. But do you know what? When I sort of went live on Monday to do your monthlies, I was still feeling a little bit off it, but I felt relatively okay to do your monthlies. And then literally within 2 days, Wednesday, I ended up at the shopping hospital. But they actually sorted me out, you know what I mean? So I'm pretty much back on form, you know, bag of the IV drip, antibiotic and some pretty decent steroids have sorted me out. So I'm back on form, you guys, in a matter of days. I can't believe it. Can't believe it. Anyway, so we're going to be doing your monthlies, you guys, and this time I'm going to be introducing back the Vice Versa Tarot that my good friend Clyde bought me for Christmas just gone. And I'm also going to be pretty much using all decks. The Rider-Waite, the Romance Angels, and I'm also going to be using, which have fell down here, the Spirit deck as well, by John Holland, Daily Spirit Messages. I know obviously we're not doing daily readings, but I'm still going to be using them. So, watch this space, you lot. Hello, water signs. It's Kay from Kaylovestarot, coming to you, not so much live, but from my living room. Ooh. Right then, you lot. Let's get stuck in. I am prepared with all 4 decks. And these are just literally general messages. These are messages, predictions, whatever you need to know for mid-month. So let's get stuck in. I'm just going to give me 2 minutes to sort the spread out. It won't be a second. I'm starting with Scorpio because I'm biased like that. Oh, one flew out. What was that? Choices. This one always talks about taking responsibility for your choices and the actions that you make at this time. Let's throw you couple Romance Angels. We have got heart-to-heart conversations, choices about having a heart-to-heart conversation with someone. One's just flipped, 2 flipped out. Expressing your love, and it is safe for you to love. Feeling that you can talk, feeling that you are okay to love. It is safe to love, to express your love for someone. Okay, but in doing so, you must take responsibility for your own choices, Scorpio, at this time. In layman's terms. So, let's take a look and throw you guys some Rider-Waite. I'm trying to show as much as I can. Right, okay, we've got the star. Me shuffling on camera, since it's been well documented on YouTube that it's frowned upon if we don't, which is fucking bullshit. Right, Justice card. Okay, another one's flipped. The 4 of Cups. I'll do a couple more. The 7 of Wands reversed. And the 4 of Swords. Sounds like you want to lay some gripe to rest. You want to right a few wrongs. I'm going to say it involves someone that you really do love and care about. But we have this little concern of what could actually happen should you do it. It looks like you're going to go ahead and talk to someone anyway. That you really do need to get something off your chest mid-month. Okay, the 4 of Pentacles. Flipped. Needing to let go. Oh, da 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 da. So I'm just trying to flip these as much as I can. Right, okay. Let's take a gander. I have got the 9 of Cups, the World flipped, the Ace of Pentacles, and the 4 of Cups. Again, in the right context again. So because I've got 2 cards that are enforcing the same issue, that tells me that obviously we need to draw attention to this message. So pretty much I'm going to say this is all about wanting to do the right thing, definitely having hope in doing the right thing, you know, and it involves really having this heart-to-heart conversation with someone that you know you really feel you need to get something off your chest. And The only problem is I see you flitting backwards and forwards. One minute we're quite hopeful that we're doing the right thing. The next minute we're giving up because we should think we should lay it to rest. At the end of the day, Scorpio, you guys are the most impulsive in the zodiac. You know, you get your mind and your heart set on something, you're just going to go ahead and do it anyway. If you've got a problem, you know, I would always say, considering that the Star and the Justice are in the right way up, that actually going ahead and sort of opening yourself up to someone who you feel you really do need to talk to is going to be your best bet. And I kind of want to say there's light shining down of it solely because of the Star, and it is the wish card. I mean, don't get me wrong. You know the saying, be careful what you wish for, that kind of stuff. And then I think with the vice versa tarot, we've kind of got the outcome here, okay. But it's not going to come without a little bit of upheaval first. I think at the initial point of the conversation that you're wanting to, you could be wanting to express your love to someone, you could be wanting to have a heart-to-heart with someone that you do love, with someone that you do care about. There is obviously an issue going on here, okay, but it's saying it is safe for you to love. So as long as you approach the conversation in a loving way, all should turn out okay. You know, I kind of think it's not what you say, it's how you word it. That's what I definitely want to say to you, Scorpio. So with these two here, the Four of Cups, reiterated twice here, I definitely want to say, at first port of call, this person who you really are wanting to talk to may not take it very seriously. Let's be honest, us Scorpios are not very well received at the best of times, so this is no exception. But yeah, this just tells me that they may be focused on more other emotional aspects as opposed to your upfront conversation here, okay? Your upfront word here. But that's not to say that they won't recognise it eventually, and I'm going to show you why. Do you see at first port, the Four of Cups Rider-Waite came out first, the vice versa came out second. The first one, they're not even looking at the offer, they're not even looking at the emotional offering, if you like. They're more focused on Three Cups in front of them and something's missing. They're more focused on what's missing. But when you actually go to, when we come to the Rider-Waite, the vice versa, is actually noticing the Four Cups are spilled, is noticing that, you know, something's actually not missing. It's his own sort of turmoil. He's refusing to put those cups back upright and fill them back. You know, this looks like the onus is on that guy in that card. In other words, what I'm trying to say is, it's acknowledgement. It's acknowledgement that something's not quite right and that something does need to change. So if at first it doesn't seem like they're interested, they're not taking it seriously, give it a few days, they will take a second look at this, okay, and realise what's wrong. So there's obviously some sort of an issue going on here, okay, regarding love that needs to be addressed, and we're very umming and ahhing about whether to do this or not. And the Spirit's coming forth to say, let go of your fear. I see this Four of Pentacles in the reverse as a fear. I think that's let go of your fear. And then with the Nine of Cups, the world flipped. There's a situation that's far from over and that really does need addressing. So to bring about, at least on the right track to emotional fulfilment, it's definitely worth reaching out. And I do also have the Ace of Pentacles. Now, in this context, I do see it as more of a personal, but here I do see it as maybe work context. So this could be sort of like a separate message for some of you who really love your job. You've got some gripe, you need to speak up. Do it with love. Do it with diplomacy. Do it with grace, if you like, in order to get your own way, which looks quite promising here, okay? Some of you could be wanting a pay rise. Justice is in the upright, along with the Star. Pay rises and money are totally possible at this time. Don't forget, this is just a mid-month. This is just resonating between now and I would say the 25th tops. And I'll do you one for that last week as well. So yes, in an emotional term, I would look at this Ace of Pentacles as maybe either more committed love relationship or at least heading down that path with someone. Something's going to come out eventually. You know, it'll all come out in the wash eventually. In other words, Scorpio. So it's definitely worth opening up, speaking out. I get it. A lot of you are going to be very afraid to do that. For the simple fact that Scorpios don't cope with rejection in the fucking slightest. We just don't. That's just us. We just don't. And 9 times out of 10, we'd rather keep a mouth shut just to save that heartache. But here it's saying, look, go ahead and speak your truth. Just because something is pushed to one side initially doesn't mean to say that they're not going to take a second look at this in a few days or even a few weeks. Maybe when we come to the year end of month, we'll see some progress. Whatever it is that you're bothered about and that you really need to do, talk to somebody about the way you feel, or if it's a work scenario, dealing with a gripe. Go ahead and do it this month. Now is a good time to do it, okay? Right, I'll leave that there, Scorpio. So, let's move on to Cancer. Pop these cards away. If anybody would like a private reading, I'm back on phone. I have some availability tonight, and I'm also going to put a special offer on for this weekend to welcome me back. Right, let's do some Cancer mid-monthlies. So, let's take a look at Cancer. What messages do you have for Cancer? I'm sticking out like a sore thumb. Forgiveness, Cancer. The theme for this week is forgiveness. And I couldn't help but what was at the bottom. Notice what was at the bottom of that deck then. New beginnings. Do you know what? I'm going to take it because I felt so drawn to it. Forgiveness in order to receive new beginnings. In order to embark on new beginnings, you need to learn to forgive first. Release your ex. Maybe you need to forgive an ex and clear your energy. The card does read the time has come to clear your energy. To have separation. Maybe they need to forgive you. Past life relationship. This is somebody you've been with. I'm going to stay on and off. That's the feeling I get. And you are so desperate for new beginnings at the moment, Cancer. But new beginnings does not come without forgiveness, okay? I always say to shit is human, but to forgive it truly is divine. That is what gives you closure. I always say, you know, with when you've got exes and you never really sort of knew where you stood at the time of the breakup, and it's something that's, and you guys do wear your heart on your sleeve, and you do bear on to these grudges for too long sometimes. You know, and 9 times out of 10, you never really truly get over an ex until you've met someone you love more. However, relationships will continue to fail if we don't shed and clear that energy completely. You know, the release your ex card does say the time has come to clear your energy. In other words, no, you're not going to move on. No, you're not going to end up in a nice, fulfilled relationship if you don't start learning to forgive. And I get it. Maybe someone needs to forgive you. Maybe you can't move on until you've got their forgiveness. And I have the separation card here for a reason. This tells me that you, some of you, not all of you, consider yourselves to be separated from your partner. Some of you, this tells me, if it's saying release your ex, but you think you just separated, because it does say time apart from your partner's on the horizon, maybe you still consider this person your partner. That release your ex card is coming in to say, this is real, this is over, it's time you moved on. And the only way you're going to do that is either to ask for forgiveness, forgive yourself for fucking up with someone you probably shouldn't have fucked up with, you know, or to forgive them. You can't, it's hard really, because when we break up with someone and we've never really understood the breakup, Cancers tend to dwell on that too much, at the fact that they never understood it. Scorpios can be quite similar, but Cancers take this to the next level. They will try and claw their way back in each and every time, because they're absolutely convinced that it is not over. And unfortunately, the rose-tinted glasses need to come off now from the look of it, Cancer. Okay, so let me just continue on with this. Maybe we'll get more information. This tells me that even though you're not convinced it's over, it looks here to me that it is, and you need to move on. We need the new beginning. We need to forgive in order to get that. And this is obviously a lesson that a lot of Cancers do struggle with, is acceptance of the end, if I'm honest. I know that sounds harsh, but I always say I'd rather be cruel to be kind. you know. These vice versa cards, so slippery. So let's see what they say. Yeah, it was a happy relationship at some point that I'm looking at, which turned relatively sour relatively quickly. I have the devil in place, so we're looking at something extremely toxic. Eventually it'll get easier. But right now, yes, it's still very much raw. But it's raw for a reason, you know what I mean? Right. Let's crack on. Again, I'm sort of just going to read these like I did the Scorpio, the Rider-Waite, in sort of what's happened. And then the vice versa as to what's coming through. So here we start the relationship off. You Cancers tend to crave homeliness. You like the family idea. And yeah, in the past, the feelings were mutual. There was that balance there. It was good, initially. But obviously, over this separation card here, I have got the Seven of Pentacles and the Eight of Pentacles reversed. The separation occurred for the simple fact that somebody was not putting in enough effort and was, I want to say, impatient with the way that it was progressing. Seeing that Queen of Pentacles there as to what it was and to what it is now is telling me that this could have been rushed. We're wanting to get to the homely family stage, the focus on home, family, work, material aspects. But here, this tells me there's not enough effort being put in order to get that, whether it's coming from you or them. And we're seeing a lot of impatience going on with the Seven of Pentacles. We're not happy with what we've got in front of us. You know, despite it actually making growth, it's still not good enough for what we actually need. And, you know, again, rose-tinted glasses, you know what I mean? Still waiting around for something to change that's never going to change, that's never going to happen. And then over the Release Your Ex card, we've got this Eight of Swords. So you're very much trapped in your head about needing to release someone. I would say, even if you can't forgive in person, that either they don't want you to or you don't need to go near them, whatever, but this is still bothering you. You know, a good friend of mine who's actually on YouTube, who's been reading my cards for a while, has always said, you know, you can forgive at a distance. Just to give yourself that peace. You can do that. And obviously, I have an incentive for you guys. I have a really, really, really nice incentive for you guys. Your new beginnings regarding new love are completely possible. The Two of Cups with the New Beginnings card, you can't get more assert than that. I have a relationship coming in your future. But in order to get to that relationship, do you see how these flow? That's the card that I pulled on top of them. You have to forgive in order to have your new beginnings and love and relationships in the future. No, it's not with the same person. I'm just going to clarify that straight away, because it can't be with the same person, because they're a hot fucking mess. Or you are. Either they're the temperamental bitch from hell, or they're bringing out the worst in you to that effect. And the devil's telling me, yes, there is toxicity, obsession, oppression, addictions even, that are creating this toxic environment that isn't serving anybody. So that is what we need to break away from. The less attention that you pay to this person, the better at this point, because it's no good. And then the Queen of Swords flip. This is not wanting to talk. We're turning her back here on communication. There is no invite to communicate. We do not want to deal with this. Either they're acting this way with you or you with them. I have strong fire, earth and air signs here, so it could be anyone, but I try not to pay too much attention to the signs unless I'm seeing an assert, you know what I mean? I do have the Lovers as well that flows after this, and this is rebirth, another chance at love. And yes, with this Two of Cups following that, I'm going to say there is another chance at love. This person who clearly isn't healthy for you, or you're not healthy for them, we have to get this ideology out of our head that we can hang on, it's going to change, they're going to come back. It's not. It's not. There are internal and external factors that Spirit's throwing in here to say This is why everything about this relationship is wrong. We have got verbal abuse at its finest with the Queen. We're lucky not to see the King, because obviously that would indicate not just verbal but sometimes physical abuse as well. But here we've got a lot of verbal abuse, a hot temper, somebody who really is angry. And maybe it's because of an addiction showing up with the devil there. Maybe it's because of some sort of issues, maybe mentally. I don't think so though. To see the devil, I'm more inclined to say this is some sort of physical abuse. It's like self-torture in a way, you know what I mean? Cancer, you have an incentive. The time has come to clear your energy. And in order to clear your energy, we are going to have to learn to forgive, whether it be yourself or them. Whether it be in person or at a distance, it really doesn't matter. You are not going to get closure from this person. No matter how hard you try, no matter how many messages you send, no matter how many phone calls you try and make, no matter how many times you get in the car and try to catch them off guard, there is no closure that can come from this, because they are ashamed to accept that they have issues. Or they just don't want to change. The onus, we can't do nothing about their behaviour. Their behaviour is completely irrelevant. We can't do nothing about them. All you can do is something about yourself and your own behaviour and your own future and your own happiness. That is all you can do at this point. Okay? To A, shit is human. To forgive, it's truly divine. Okay? I'll leave that there. Right. For a mid-month, that was pretty intense. Again, if anyone wants personal, please feel free to email me. I'll leave it in the description. I'm moving on to Pisces. Let's take a gander at the Pisces energies between now and the 25th. Pisces, what messages do you have for Pisces at this time? Intuitive nudges. Your guys' intuition is spot on at the moment. Self-sabotage. That's ruined it a bit. Your intuitive nudges are creating self-sabotage. So that's not to say that I read that wrong. If it was on its own, I'd have continued along with that. But to see it along with the self-sabotage here, okay, some of you are seriously having spiritual, psychic mediumship, or just in general, intuition that's throwing you way off track and that's needs tweaking a little bit, okay. And we're self-sabotaging with that. You're thinking you're doing the right thing and really you're not, for some of you. Some of you. Right. I have the children card. Love life is affected by children. I also have the chemistry card. Strong magnetic attraction. One more for Pisces. Stay optimistic about your love life. Well, that's what you're trying to do. Maybe the intuition that you're getting is to sort of, oh no, things will work out. Stay optimistic. There's clearly an issue here. We'll see how it's clarified. It might just be something minor. You know what the tarot's like, it tends to come across very, very dramatic sometimes, and it not always is how you first see it. So thank God for my intuition, is all I can say. Right, let's see, Pisces. Messages for Pisces. I've got 2 8s in the reverse. I'm not all too bothered about those two. They kind of look relatively decent. Now I've got a 9 of Cups in the reverse along with the Hangman, so yeah, I'm concerned about that. Right, let's go to the vice versa. I like that self-sabotage card because basically it's saying when you learn to get out of your own way, there will be no stopping you. Most of the time, it's not others who prevent you from achieving your true goals. It's that inner voice that derails those carefully woven plans. Hence, we have it coming up with the intuition card. This is to sort of tell me that, again, your intuition, you're mistaking it for faith. And we have this conversation a lot about what is the difference between faithful thoughts and optimism. We have the optimistic card here as well, and your intuition actually speaking to you. What's the difference between fears and intuition? What's the difference between optimism, optimistic thoughts and vibes, and intuition? Pisces are probably, for some of you, not all of you, are probably the worst in the zodiac for that kind of confusion, because you are such upbeat, happy-go-lucky characters, and you always seem to think that, you know, if I follow my intuition doing this, good things will happen. And unfortunately, I think you've got a harsh lesson to learn at this time. Some of you may already be experiencing the backlash of something that you're clearly wanting to do here because you think your intuition's told you. I kind of want to say, for some of you, you're overly optimistic about a relationship, thinking it's going to work, but for some reason or another, the factor of children is in the way here. Okay, maybe you're optimistic that they will get along with your children, maybe, you know, or you optimistic about getting along with them, and obviously we're not thinking more logically about this. Maybe time is the issue, not actually being able to spend as much time with someone as you'd really like. Maybe a child falls ill. I'm not saying they will, but maybe, you know, you struggle to get childcare so that you can go to someone that you want to see and start being with. You know, there's a lot of stuff that could come out of this. I'll see what the vice versa has to say about it. I just see you guys being like really optimistic about a relationship, and your intuition's telling you stay optimistic, it's all good, it's all good. I just don't buy it. I've got the Two of Wands, the Seven of Wands. What was that? The Fool flipped. Not necessarily needing to take, yeah, the Eight of Swords. I've got an Eight of Swords reversed and then an Eight of Swords in the upright here in the future. I've got the Nine of Wands, standing your ground to protect yourself, and I've also got the Ace of Pentacles. So, let's see. I kind of want to say for some of you it's just bad timing. But, you know, a prospective partner may be put off with the fact that somehow children are not in the way, that's the wrong word to use, but you know what I mean. It makes a relationship inconvenient. I don't think this is as strong a message as I initially thought it was. If any of you are wanting to go on impulse because you automatically think something's a good idea here, Spirit's just saying, think again. It might not pan out as you think. Your intuition might not be telling you things as they actually are. It might be more, shall we say, your optimism getting in the way, because you are an excitement as well. Being overly excited, high expectations of an early relationship, and obviously I do see this backfiring in some way at this time. Now don't forget, these are temporary energies. Kids aren't always going to be a factor in your love life. I mean, if you have children, you know, at some point you'll be able to get childcare. At some point they'll be at school. At some point they'll grow up. Your love life's not on the brink forever. You know what I mean? So, to start with, I have here the Eight of Swords reversed and the Eight of Cups reversed. So, you are very extra, and it's over the optimistic card. You are extremely optimistic about this. You know, releasing fears. Okay, something's not quite right emotionally, so yeah, that could be the children effect in play. But you're still not prepared to walk away from this emotionally, and that's good. I don't think you should. I think you should stick it out if you're dating or seeing someone at the moment and you are very excited about it. That is a good thing. I'm not saying it's not. I just think that for some of you, children could get in the way at this time of, I want to say, dating plans, for especially for those that are single and dating. Relationship-wise, kids could be acting up. There could be a few arguments and stuff like that. But I do have Five of Wands in the reverse. And I think that this is just a caution to say don't enter into conflict of any sort regarding this. It's not going to help and it's not going to solve any problems. So that's when I come in with the Hangman. The feeling that you're being left hanging. The feeling that maybe some of you are, I hate to say this, but I suppose I have to think in the real world, some of you could be extremely disgruntled with the fact that you can't do much dating wise, especially if you're single with kids. Also, if you're in a relationship with kids, we're very, very disgruntled. We don't want to fight, we don't want to argue, but there is still this problem. Maybe you and your partner can't seem to find a minute to yourselves, and it's creating arguments. But again, the Five of Wands reverse coming in as your advice. Say, try not to get into conflict. This time will pass. It is temporary. There is no need to go spitting dummies out at this point, okay? And I get it, we're a bit emotionally drained, which this happens for all over the children card. So some of you could just be too tired to go on a date, too tired to put your best gear on, too tired to do your hair and your makeup. You know, that could be the case as well. And we've got partners that are really, I don't know, disgruntled that we can't spend that much time with them. And it just begs that question, if they can't understand the fact that you've got kids and you cannot be available 24/7, does it not beg that question that you could be involved with someone who is also emotionally draining because they're fucking clingy? That could do with a conversation on its own if that's the case. So here, I have the Two of Wands. This is actually taking matters into your own hands, okay, and dealing with it straight off. We're no longer going to remain stuck in this situation. We are going to have to accept that this can either improve, or we can be a bit more patient, or we can call it a day. You want to stand your ground with this, but we're still not prepared to take any risks, which tells me this could be a very early on relationship. Don't get me wrong, there are still messages there for those who are in committed relationships, but at the same time, this just seems like you're taking a bit more caution with this. Because you know you're treading on rocky ground if there is a lot going on with your children. And you know you're emotionally drained, and you know it's really, really difficult to sort of put yourself out there in that manner. But I have you resorting back to fears here, okay? Actually being afraid, actually needing to protect yourself. Why? Because it does look like somebody wants commitment from you. I do see this as more aimed at the Pisces, or you're dealing with someone here where, despite the issues of a lacking time, being emotionally drained, not really being able to look after yourself and do what you need to do in the love department, this is still either you're offering commitment to someone who is afraid and who is protecting themselves because they know that the situation is tumultuous at the moment, or they're offering it to you and you're shitting yourself, thinking, yeah, it's all good and well wanting commitment from me, but I can't do it. I can't see them that day. I can't see them that day. Or I'm fucking drained at the minute. I don't really want to be getting dressed up and seeing anyone. If they want to come round and see me in my pyjamas and we'll watch a film, then that's all good. But when they want to be coming round, especially if it's a new relationship, and you got to get the sexy lingerie out, the fucking eyelashes, the nails and the hair extensions, and you're like, what the fuck? I can't be arsed with this shit. That's where we're going to start clashing. The key here is not to burn the candle at both ends. Remember, self-sabotage card, okay? Do not drain yourself out for the sake of a new budding relationship. I always say, if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. And if you're already in a committed relationship, don't burn yourself down to the ground trying to focus on so many things at once with all your fucking balls in the air. Calm down. Let's split things into easy steps that you can do. You know, arrange once a month date night. Kids go to bed early. That's it. They are not bothering us. I don't know, maybe enforce more rules and stuff like that so that you and your partner can find some time to spend together. But as I was saying, it's not that cut and dry for singles and dating. This could prove to be a little bit more tricky than you expect. It is going to have to take some serious consideration from them and from you in order to compromise for anything to come of this, okay? And I'm speaking to those that do have children involved or are dealing with someone with children. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Again, powerful messages for mid-month, really. This is temporary energy. It will pass, you guys. So if you can stick it out and bear with it, I should imagine things will pan out quite smoothly. But the onus really is on you to get your priorities in order. So I'll leave that there then, my lovelies. Should anyone want a private reading, please feel free to email me. I have some free time, and I'm also going to put a special offer on for this week, and the video will be uploaded soon. In the meantime, you guys take care. Bye-bye for now.